Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. This project is a little bit different because it's ideal for beginners and advanced crafters as well, but we're going to focus on just one Anna Griffin product, and that way maybe this is the only product that you have, and maybe it's a product that you don't know what to do with, or maybe it's a product that you've had sat on your shelf and you've been thinking, I must use that for something. So I thought it would be fun to make a project with minimal products, because not everybody has everything and we forget that. And when I'm prepping the projects and I'm thinking, oh, I'll use one of these and I'll use one of those and I'll use one of those, it's easy to forget that some people aren't as lucky as me to have quite a wide range, or some people just don't know where to start. So I thought it would be fun just to look at one particular product. And it's the Easter and Love stamps from the seasonal sets from Anna. Mine are just set out like this because this is how I store them. So when you get them on the clear sheets, but I've just mounted mine on laminated sheets. So you're going to need your set of stamps. You're going to need your card base. I'm using a 7x5" ivory card base. You're going to need some ivory cardstock, whether it's A4 or 12x12, you're going to need it to stamp on. And then you're going to need a coordinating colour of cardstock, maybe a gold or something neutral again. Or maybe you want to go bright and go for a cerise or a bright blue, something that will stand out. I'm going for a gold. So that's a 7x5" blank base, ivory cardstock, gold cardstock, 2 ink pads, and that's a black StazOn ink pad and a Dove Grey ink pad. You don't have to use the StazOn, you could use your Anna ink pads, you could use whatever you've got. I'm going for black because I want the contrast, and I think the black will stand out so well. So that's what we're using. I will put a detailed list on my blog of the items, and I will say I have used some Xyron for adhesive. If you haven't got Xyron, that's fine. You can still use your tape runners. You can still use your tape, your glue, whatever you prefer using. So this is our card base, and I'm going to use my bone folder with it. Now this was from Anna's toolkit. If you haven't got anything like that, don't panic. You can use the side of a ruler, something that you've got that's not so much a sharp edge, but a smooth edge to make sure that your crease is nice and smooth. So it just makes it look more professional when it stands up on a mantelpiece. So as always, we're going to do the inside first. Now I've cheated a little bit because I've actually gone ahead and done it. And it was a very simple insert. You didn't miss much. So I've taken the repeat pattern stamp from the Easter Love stamps, and I've stamped it in the Dove Grey StazOn to create the repeat pattern. I started in this corner and then I worked my way along, and then I turned it round. I started in this corner and I worked my way along, making sure the pattern matched up. I didn't stamp in the middle, and then I stamped in the centre with the big, I would say it's a locket. It's like a gorgeous embellished locket around the edge. So it's a nice frame for your actual sentiment, both again from the set of stamps. Now there's only a little room for you to write in, so we're not going to write a great long message to whoever we're sending this to, but the inside will match perfectly to the outside, and I think that is just a great way of decorating your insert. It's nice and quick and easy. So I've got double-sided flat tape on the back of it, and I'm simply going to insert it into the centre of my card. So that is our insert. Now we can turn our attention to the outside. So the first thing I've got is from the coordinating cardstock that we're choosing is a layer to put on the base of our card. Now I've chosen, I said it's a gold colour, it's a very pale gold colour. It's kind of like a metallic pearl colour. So, but it looks gold when it's next to the ivory. So we can put the first layer on our card. Our next layer is again the pattern repeat from how we've used it for the insert. Now, if this is the first set of stamps that you've ever purchased, you might want to practice with your pattern repeat, because once you get the hang of it, you know how to do it. But to begin with, it's a little bit daunting. Well, I don't want you to be put off by that. Use scrap paper, have a go. If you're finding it tough to match up the pattern, try again and try again. And you might throw quite a few of your scrap pieces away. Don't worry, it's natural. Everybody has to learn. And a pattern repeat sometimes isn't always the easiest of thing. This, for me, is a great pattern to start with because it's a good match. Now, you can see mine isn't completely perfect, but when you look at it closely and we put the card together, it doesn't matter. And, you know, I think we all strive to be too perfect sometimes. So, but that's my pattern repeat for my next layer. So again, I've only used the Stays On ink and the pattern repeat from the Easter Love stamps. It's got flat tape on the back. So I'm trying to go with minimal products for everything really for this one. Just sort of for beginners. Maybe you haven't got a vast array of adhesives and things. Okay, so our next layer is our gold layer that's going to go across the middle of our card. But I'm going to put this to one side just for the moment because we're just going to skip a layer because we're going to do a little bit of crafty paper crafting, as it were. The next layer is going to be a sheet of ivory cardstock that you're using, and you're going to cut it to the width of the card like so. And then in the stamp set there's 2 ornate stamps. You're going to stamp with roughly 1.5 inches apart like that, and then at either end you're just going to make a little cut either with a craft knife for my advanced crafters or maybe a pair of scissors, just to get a little snip mark around. You might be able to see that better from the back side. So you're making an incision around the edge of the pattern, because what we're going to do is we've made a repeat stamp of a little ditzy print that's in the stamp set, and then we're going to feed the ditzy print underneath the little slot at one side, and then we're going to feed it out of the other side to create kind of like a border effect. And then once we've slotted that through, we can stick it down. So I've got tape in here, and I wanted to show you the process before I stuck it down. I didn't want to do it too quick, and now I want to make sure I've got it nice and straight. So we'll just pop that on the edge like that, and then I can do the other side as well like that. Remove the tape. See, at home you'll be able to use a tape runner or whatever you've got, and that'll be just a little bit easier at home. So that's how I've threaded the border through, and now this is ready to be stuck onto our layer that's going to go across the card. So we can just pop that on, so it just gives the edge just layering it, and then that can go across the card through the centre. There we go. And we can add that like so. So now we can see our repeat pattern at the top, and that's why I didn't stamp through the middle with it, and I just did the edges. We've got our stamping through the centre, and then next I've stamped the frame again, and I've added just a note to say one of the sentiments in the same stamp set, and then I've cut it out. Now I've cut it out by hand, and it just shows I've done it quite roughly. I've not tried to take my time with it, but if you're not the best cutter out in the world, it just goes to show that you can still do it. And I'm going to position that between our two stamped elements, the like a calligraphy scroll corners. I've got 3D foam on the back of the frame, and that will sit nicely through the centre like that. Then the next thing and the last thing I've done, and this is where the Xyron adhesive comes in. If you haven't got Xyron adhesive, just use glue, just use whatever you normally use. I use Xyron for quickness. So it's just one of those things for me. Xyron is nice and quick, and it just helps with my preparation. So in the stamp set, there's some corner stamps. I've taken one of the corner stamps, again stamped it on the ivory cardstock with the black ink, and then cut it out. Now it does look like I've cut out the edges from the way that it's stamped, but I haven't. It's just a smooth cut line. So it's kind of like a little bit deceptive, is that? And I'm going to peel these off, and then I'm going to add them into the four corners of my card. So I'm taking them right to the edge and sticking them down. And I'm going to do that with all four of the ornate corners, like so. And I just think that the black and the ivory stands out so well, and I think it makes such a statement on a card, even though you know you haven't used that many items to create it. You've used your one stamp set, and all these stamps were together, and it just all works so well. And it goes to show you, you know, mix and match with things in the set. I was going to say different sets, in one set. Try them. And that is our card finished. So that's the outside of our card with all our stamping. We've got the inside of the card that matches perfectly. And because we've used just the contrast in the ink, it shows just a little bit of difference where you've got your sentiment jumping out in the centre, and it doesn't take your eye away from the front of the card. I think it's just such a pretty card using one set of stamps. Stands up nicely, definitely going to go on a mantelpiece. It's just so ornate and so pretty, and the detail in it, it's just, well, it's just a great card. Stands up nicely, did I just say that? You won't need any extra bubble wrap because you've only actually got one layer on there that stood proud with your decoupage, with your 3D foam, even though you've got lots of layers on it. So I think that is a great card for any stamper to try. You might want to do it slightly differently. Well, that's why we're all crafters and we all like creating. So I just hope you've enjoyed it, and it's given you an idea of how to use just one set of stamps, maybe spurred you on to try using them. If you need any more information, please check my blog. Please comment on my blog or on Facebook. I can reply to you there. I can't reply to you on YouTube. Please share if you can. And I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you next time.